Hey, my sexy souls. You're watching The Seasons Behind the Sound, where I break down the creative process and answer your questions about my debut EP, Life's Seasons. Let's go. Welcome to episode 6 of The Seasons Behind the Sound. This is our final episode of the series, which is crazy. I feel like it went by so fast. And today I'm going to be talking about my debut single, Summer in New York. Summer in New York is literally about missing New York City, missing all the memories you've made, the friends you've made, and really just the aura that the city gives off. I lived in New York for 2 years of my life. Prior to living there, I would travel there all the time with my family. We loved going to New York. We made so many memories there. We spent Christmas there. It's just always been a really magical city for me and my family. There's something about being in that city. I've always had a great connection to it. Every time I'm there, I always get a sort of feeling. I cannot explain what it is, but it's like a empowering feeling, like, anything is possible. From my time living in New York, I was inspired to write this song. So that's my main spark of inspiration for this single. And I started writing it when I was in New York City. It was my final year living there. And I actually was just sitting at a restaurant or cafe by myself. I took myself out on a date and I had my notebook with me and I just started writing pretty much a poem. And I'll read it to you because I have it in my book, what exactly I wrote. This was written June 25th, 2021. This is when I was sitting in the restaurants and decided to write this. Summer in New York, it's quite a beautiful place. The flowers have blossomed, and I have lost all the care in the world. To be on these streets would be quite the treat. The colors and sound of many lives, all combined before 9. Summer in New York. Even when you're stuck in the heat, you seem to know everyone you meet. Oh, how I wish I could be a member of the community, making sense of all the busy, busy, busy streets. Oh, how I'd love to be summer in New York. It's as beautiful as can be. But even now and then you see something more beautiful. The air, it's so wonderful. It's so wonderful, a summer in New York. If you've listened to the song, you may recognize a lot of the lyrics that are in the song were in this poem I wrote. Summer in New York. It's quite a beautiful place. The flowers have blossomed, and I've lost all the care in the world. Would be quite the treat. The colors and sounds of many lives, all combined before 9. I haven't actually listened to the song in a while, just sat and listened to it. And hearing it, it's just cool because it's my very first song and I know how much work I put into it. The very beginning, you hear all these New York noises, and there's also a static of a record starting. It's just to bring a nostalgia to the song, because you're revisiting memories that you had in an amazing city. All the car noises in the beginning, the traffic noises, that's actually from a video. Two of my friends that live in New York City, Isa and Aaron, they were kind enough to get me some videos because I finished this song when I didn't live there anymore and they still lived there, and so they really helped me out with this to just get some good footage of the city and to also supply the sound for the beginning of the song. My favorite line of that beginning section is definitely the colors and sounds of many lives all combined before 9. I feel like that just describes the city so well, because there's so much happening, so many colors, so many people and different lives that they're living, and you see that all on the street before 9 o'clock in the morning. Like, the city is already moving.
I would take the long way home just to stay outside. When you close the door behind, ooh, it's misery. And the AC don't live rent free. No, 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 no. Even when you're stuck in the heat, you seem to know everyone you meet.
So I guess we can call this verse 2. The structure of the song is kind of up in the air. I'm not really sure what it is, but I guess I'll call this verse 2. If you remember when I read the poem, I repeated the word summer New York again. Instead of singing them again, I decided to have the saxophone take it over and play it. I think the saxophone just adds a nice dynamic difference compared to the first verse. It sets you up for the next section of the song and then leading into the saxophone solo. If you've lived in New York, or I guess anywhere that's really crowded and hot, you understand that yes, it's brutal outside, but also when you get inside and you don't have the AC on, it's even more brutal. I found myself wanting to stay outside longer because at least I have fresh air and like some movement in air. But when I got back to the dorm I was living in, I was like, oh my God, the AC unit was not enough. So that's why I would take the long way home just to stay outside, because when you close the door behind, it's misery. I like the line, and the AC don't live rent free, because you gotta pay for AC, and sometimes some places don't even come with AC. Even when you're stuck in the heat, you seem to know everyone you meet, and that's very much true. I would run into people I knew all the time. Obviously, I knew a lot of people from school, but it's a large city, and it's crazy how you would run into people, even if you're not even in the area, you know, that the school is. I would run into people. I'm like, what are you doing here? Like, it's just so random, and it's really cool because sometimes like I end up like hanging out with them like for the rest of the day.
Oh, we got jazz going on to the streets, all kinds of characters who will agree. Pillows on the fire escape, waiting for your company.
Oh, we got jazz pouring onto the streets, all kinds of characters who will greet, pills on the fire escape, waiting for your company. I just think that's like a perfect segue into the saxophone solo. And I love the fire escapes off of apartments in New York. Like, I wish the apartment I ended up getting for like a year, I wish that one had a fire escape, because I love, like, you know, you sit out on your fire escape at night and you have pillows. And I actually went to one of my friend's apartments. She had a fire escape, and I think we might have lost one of the pillows. Like, we didn't lose it, it just fell. So just like that memory, I plugged into the song. So there's a lot of little memories that are throughout this song for me. The saxophone solo has to be my proudest moment in this song. I have never written a saxophone solo. Writing music just brought up a really amazing opportunity to explore on my saxophone, because I've never done that before, and I'm just so proud of that solo I wrote. I mean, if you would have asked me a few years before, like, you ever think you're gonna be writing songs and writing a saxophone solo, playing the saxophone on your songs, I would have been like, you're funny. I don't think I can do that. And I really proved myself wrong, because I had a lot of doubt. I'm like, does this sound good and everything? And now going back and listening to it on the track, I mean, I play the song a lot But hearing my take of it that is 2 years old now, I know how much I've grown since. And I think that's like the coolest part when you make music, because you almost have, oh, there's a little dandelion. Make a wish. When you make music, you have almost like a vault of memories, a vault of progress that you can go back and look at. And I think it's amazing because we record a moment in time and it's kept, and we can go back and listen to it and see how we've grown, see where we started.
I can still see it in my dreams. The city where I used to be. I miss that hustling, bustling. Oh, we gotta wake up again. Oh, how I wish I could be.
After the sax solo, I obviously needed something to just build the song up even more. So that's what this part is. I can still see it in my dreams, the city I used to be. I miss that hustling, bustling. Ooh, we got to get up again. And I do miss that. I do miss that, like, energy that everybody else around you is also working so hard. I like being surrounded by hardworking people. So that is something I do miss about the city, because I see people working hard. Like, you can see them. You can see them bussing themselves down the street, going to their job, going to their other job, doing this, that, and whatever. And it's very inspirational. It does get tiresome, but if there's something that you really want and you're really after, like a goal or a dream, then in the end, it's all worth it. How the song ends, which you can go listen to, it's just a very grand ending. I'm a pretty dramatic person, so I gotta have a dramatic ending. And I think because of that ending, it is why it's the last song on the EP, because it's so dramatic, it's so drawn out, and I want it to have a big ending. And when I go back and revisit the song one day, because I definitely want to, I want to have like a big like band with me and almost have like a couple false endings, because I love false endings. Like, oh, they're gonna end, and you're like, psych, we're not done yet, we're gonna keep playing. That's something I'd like to revisit one day. Yeah, when that day comes, you'll definitely know about it. This song was like 2 years making it, I guess. I mean, I didn't work on it every day for 2 years. That would be a little ridiculous. I mean, I was also a student at the time. I took a recording artist class in college, and the main project is to make a song, to record it, and to do all the artist things that you have to do. Without taking this class, I don't think I would have known what to do, and I just wouldn't have had the confidence to pursue this. I actually recorded a version with my school, a part of the project, but because of policies with my school, I couldn't release that one. But honestly, I'm glad I didn't release that one, because I definitely prefer this one over the other one. It was a little bit different, but you know, it was the same like structure and everything. It's just the music was a little darker, in my opinion. It just sounded a little heavier. But because I did it as a project, I also knew, okay, well, I tried some things I knew I didn't like, so I know what I can do when I record it myself. And I also got all the chords and key figured out, instead of me trying to figure that out on my own. In the studio, I worked with Greg. I've talked about him a lot during the series. This is my first time working with him. So I didn't really meet him prior to recording day, actually. Now I think about it, we just went in the studio together. Honestly, for not having a rehearsal prior to going to the studio, he sounded amazing, and he played exactly what I wanted. He caught my vibe, and I was like, this guy knows what he's doing, and I want to work with him more. So the rest is history. I've been working with him since this whole EP. He's done every single song. Because I was so new to this, I did not hire a drummer because, well, I didn't really know how it all worked. I was like, might as well just start with the pianist. And Greg also plays the bass guitar, so he was able to plug in some bass for me. Very minimal, just to add more sound to it and just to make it a little bit more fuller. Because we didn't have a live drummer, we had to program the drums, and that's the only thing that I would change about this song currently. I mean, I love live instruments, so it's really just some basic hits. It's like a bass drum and a snare. I think that's really all it is throughout. And I just kind of sat with the engineer and we did it together. I was like, okay, this is what I want, the beats here. The whole experience as being in the studio for the first time was amazing. I'm like, I actually really like this. It was a little nerve-wracking doing my vocal part because I was still finding my voice. I mean, I still am, but I think I have a better hold and understanding of my voice. But I was still studying at school and studying voice, so it was a little nerve-wracking. I was being a little hard on myself, but the end result sounds great. A song that inspired Summer in New York would be Fallen by Alicia Keys. It was really the only one that came to mind for the kind of vibe I wanted. I definitely wanted piano. I'm like, I love piano. It was my first song, so I still had a lot more exploring to do, but I think that's the only song I can think of that really inspired the feel of Summer New York. Performing this one live has been a treat, and recently I have let my sister sing it, and I played all the saxophone parts. There's a lot more saxophone layering in the background of the song that you may not hear right away until you go back and listen to it maybe a second time. So it was nice to be able to play everything and not just the solo, because there's all little licks throughout the song that I don't really get to do when I'm singing it by myself, because there's a lot of back and forth, or I'm playing behind myself and I forget how beautiful that saxophone part is until I played it. So it's been a lot of fun, and when I sing with my sister, I usually just let her sing it, and I'm like, I want to play the sax, because I never get to do that when I'm by myself. This is a fun little fact. So when I went to film the music video, obviously I had to film it in New York City, because if I would have filmed it anywhere else, it would just be wrong. But at the time, I moved out of my apartment already. I was back home, and it was summertime, and I released I think I did release the song already, or it was going to be released. I can't quite remember. I'm like, okay, well, I really want to get a music video done. Good thing we don't live too far from the city. I mean, it's like 7-8 hours, but my parents have driven to me before, like when I was living in New York City. So we actually filmed the music video in less than a day. No lie. I was coming back from a girls' trip with 3 of my besties, and I think I landed late at night, and then we drove kind of halfway, I want to say, from her house to the city. At least she was a little closer to the city than I am. Then we got up nice and early in the morning, and then we had to drive a little bit more. We took a few shots in the hotel just to have them, and you may see them, like, the shot of me putting on my lipstick, that's in the hotel, or me going into what looks like an apartment, that's actually a hotel room, because none of my friends were available at the time that I could use their apartments, so we had to improvise and use the hotel. And then from there, we drove into the city. We had everything with us because we checked out already. We weren't going back. We were driving home that night. And I don't even know the total amount of hours. Maybe I can put it on the screen because I have to ask my dad. My dad was my videographer for it, and it was his first time, but he did a great job. Very proud of him. And we hit so many locations, as much as we could. We were in Columbus Circle because that's like an area that I was around. I lived around that area. And of course, we had to go in the park. And I don't know exactly where this like area is called, but it's right across from where you can see the Freedom Tower. And it's a beautiful view of the city from there. So we got a lot of beautiful shots from there. I didn't want the music video just to be me. I wanted it to have my friends in it. So my friends that were available, they were in the music video with me, and it ended up being like all my girlfriends. I was like, yay, this is so fun. It's a very proud moment of mine, just being able to do a song and do a music video for it. So, I mean, I'm just very proud of Summer in New York, the whole package. It's really what got my career started. Now it is time for audience questions. I only have one question for my final episode, and this is, where were you when you wrote the song? I was here at my house, my hometown in Pennsylvania, where I am currently. So this is a very special episode because I am home, and I feel like it was a perfect opportunity to film this episode because this is where I started writing, and this is where I write a lot, honestly, because whenever I'm home, I've gone to the studio because I have connection to, studio and some musicians that I love to work with in the Pittsburgh area. So whenever I'm home, I end up writing, and it's just because when you're in a place that you feel so safe and, it's yours, like in my room with all my little knickknacks and all my memories, I feel like that's when I'm the most inspired. Just being surrounded by things that are mine and that make me happy. I love to sit outside in this area and just take in nature, all the green around me. I don't get to see that all the time in LA. It's nice to be back and just be back where it all started. Thank you all so much for watching this whole series. I hope you enjoyed it along the way, and the next time I see you, maybe I'll be doing another series, or I'll be singing or dancing or playing the saxophone, the normal things I do. If you haven't watched my 5 previous episodes, please go check them out. And I think it'd be fun if you, after you watch an episode, if you watch it in order, you listen to the song after so you can hear everything I talk about and feel the inspiration, the emotion that I've put into all my songs. Until next time.